Hello, everyone. My name is Laura, and I'm joining you from Tentramar, New Brunswick, where PARC is hosting our annual Playwrights retreat. And today I'm joined by one of this year's retreat participants, Rhian, the author of the play Baby. Iris, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm excited for this chat. It's a nice break in my day.
Amazing. I'm so excited too. One of our first questions is how has your time been in Sackville? How has that influenced your writing experience being here in this very beautiful, idyllic place?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a homecoming. I was a student at Monet for 1 year before transferring to theater school. So it's like it's there's like a level of familiarity and comfort that comes with revisiting. And I live in a city now, so being in a more rural area is such a gift. Like I just feel like there's so much more space and time for me to really go into my script and live there for a bit. Um, my play deals with themes of belief and faith and belonging and religious spaces, and there's a chapel on campus. So I've been going there to write because it's empty. No students are here. It's wonderful. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I love the chapel. It's such a beautiful space that's always kind of empty and it's such a beautiful space to write in and so inspiring. Um, so tell us about your script. Why is it important to tell this story now?
yeah, that's a great question. And one that I'm always asking. I have been working on it for a while
Mhm.
and it's changed a lot, but I really started working on it in earnest in the fall of 2023. And I know that when I moved into this like latest version of what the play is becoming, I set out to write a play about access to reproductive rights within more isolated communities, as a way to kind of like shine a light on how more vulnerable people in society don't often have access to education that allows them to make more informed choices about their bodies and sexuality. Um, which sounds like dark, but there's a lot of humor that lives in the play too. And I think I want it to feel approachable, but also thought provoking. Um, my intentions aside, as I kept working on the piece, it actually changed quite a lot. And now I feel like the central questions are around like, what does it mean to grow up and have your body be able to make another body? And how do you have agency in that process when you are isolated without access to like mainstream educational resources and how do you kind of grow up and assume control over your own life. So that's kind of what it's about.
Such a great, important goal, my God. Especially in today's world, it's very important to talk about these things. Um, so who and what inspires you as a writer? If there's anything specific or less specific that really inspires your process as a writer?
I mean, I'm inspired by all the writers here, of course. I read a lot. I read a lot of plays, but I also read a lot of other literature. I think it helps me think about what else is possible when it comes to world building with language. But then, too, I write from a very contemporary perspective, and I'm really interested in contemporary kind of social issues and how they impact people on a really intimate level. So I think I'm really drawn to writers that are kind of tackling material and subject matter in that way. So really like investigating something and trying to kind of show a segment of like social impact, I guess. So I'm definitely like in pursuit of work that's like-minded to mine. And I draw a lot of inspiration when I see writers do something where it's like, wow, I could never do that, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it's always so hard to like pinpoint really specific things that inspire you, especially I feel like as an artist, you're kind of always inspired by kind of everything and anything that can surround you. So it's such a great answer. Um, so how do you write? Is there like a specific thing about your process that you'd like to highlight or share? What's your process like?
Yeah. Well, I had to have a similar conversation with my dramaturg on the first day that we met, almost a week ago now, a little less, which is
Wow.
what it's been a week already. Um, and she she's incredible. And we had a back and forth, and I basically said the way that I work is really question driven.
Mm.
So I'll start with a question and then I'll just start writing, like maybe it's a monologue, maybe it's a scene, trying to investigate or explore that question through like perspectives kind of overlapping and converging and meeting in some way. And maybe they're repelling each other, but it's an exploration. And then I just kind of keep refining. But another part of my writing process, which is informed, I think, by the fact that I'm also an actor, and like many of us, I started acting, but I'm still doing it. I'm not just a playwright, if that makes any sense. Not that there's anything wrong with being just a playwright, but it's holding two identities at the same time. They're in conversation because of that. And something that I really care about is making characters who like sound different from each other on the page. And so that is also a big part of my process. And sometimes I write a lot of material that will never be in the play. And that's a good thing. And not everything needs to be in the play. But it's more to help me figure out how are the voices sounding different and who are these people really and how do they sound in this world.
Yeah, that's such an interesting process that I didn't really like know of. So it's so fascinating to me that you can start with like things like questions to start your writing process. Like that's so it's so interesting. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about like being here with us, or just your process as a writer, just yeah, this retreat, just anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really happy to be here. It's been wonderful to get to reconnect with this community and with the other writers here. I really feel like this retreat is such a gift, and it's like an overwhelmingly supportive space. So I'm just really excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Iris. I think we're gonna end the interview now. But thank you so much for joining us. This was amazing and so valuable.